trio posed as marijuana buyers at a stash house in Bayside to rob their dealers at gunpoint and kidnap them. Also, William Barnett is a known Baltimore rapper known as Zone 18 Will. Once inside, Waters and Barnett brandished firearms, forced the dealers into zip ties, and brought in 2 accomplices. The group herded their captives into a Jeep and a U-Haul van, stealing approximately 30 pounds of marijuana during the operation.
Damn! 30 pounds?
Confines of the U-Haul, Julian Mejias, a 23-year-old dealer, was shot multiple times in the head by Marcus Pittman. East Baltimore is the origin of a crew known colloquially as Bunny Ears, a young, ruthless street crew operating in the underbelly of the city. They emerged from tight-knit pockets around Brems Lane and Minnesota Avenue, areas.
Y'all got a gang called Bunny Ears?
Long afflicted by systemic poverty and turf violence.
But this speaks to a larger issue that young people would, number one, have ease of access to these firearms and would use them indiscriminately, shooting people within 50 feet of 25 to 30 police officers who are in the block. Either they don't care about consequences or don't believe the consequences, and they have no respect for human life.
Both.
Or the sanctity of life or authority.
All of them.
To pull off that brazen, cowardly act right there in the presence of police
All
officers.
of you got niggas in Chicago, they out there, do your homework on Lil Queso. He outside chasing the police with switches hanging out the goddamn car. These YNs is crazy, gang. I'm cool. I'm trying to tell you.
Niggas know the going on, yo. North South, New Side, all the way down to the
DC, man. Green Tank, Bunny is free the gang.
I ain't gonna show that. What you heard for real?
That bitch here, y'all know.
It's forever.
It's forever like that, man.
I don't gotta show that
shit here. Stupid. Send some shots out of Alpha, a rat beef. Gon out the person.
Baltimore, they slow like everybody else.
Trying to out to attract me. Stupid.
The crew is believed to be associated with the larger local Mossy gang. Online videos titled Mossy Gang X Bunny Ears vlog show masked young men flashing a distinctive hand gesture, 2 fingers resembling bunny ears, signaling their affiliation. Social media clips, including TikTok interviews, feature them chanting Mossy Gang Bunny Ears and making direct territorial claims. These are not casual posts, but online assertions of power and identity within their neighborhood. Members are shockingly young, often in their teens, with several implicated in shootings and homicides. Prosecutors allege their involvement in multiple East Baltimore murders and shooting incidents, including...
Y'all can't call yourself like the evil bunnies or something? Like, bunny ears ain't it, bro. I want to put y'all on to some of the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. Freecash.com is a website that allows you to literally get paid hundreds of dollars just for playing video games on your phone. All you need is an email and a password. Follow the directions on each of the campaigns and you can earn at least $100. My personal favorite game to play was Sunrise Island, and when I clicked on it, they had a $370 bonus. I got $370 just for playing a video game on my phone. On average, it only takes about 17 minutes for most people to start earning money on freecash.com. So if you need some free, easy, extra money, go to freecash.com, click the QR code right here, or go in the description below and start getting that bag. You did?
Teen-on-teen violence and carjackings trace back to this crew. Affectionately Ruthless, they operate under brutal internal codes familiar to Baltimore's gang landscape. They are entrenched in a political struggle over street corners and drug markets, competing with rival sets for dominance and retribution. This crew represents a new wave in Baltimore's gang politics, a hyper-local, youthful crew, self-branded online, and quick to resort to violence to enforce territorial control. Their actions reflect a growing trend among East Baltimore street gangs. Small, insular, yet capable of extreme violence.
Everywhere you go at, it's broke ass niggas and it's niggas that get money though. But I feel like certain niggas over East change that stereotype. You feel me? I ain't no hating ass nigga for real. So you got niggas like bunny ears niggas. They look good. They be cutting. Feel me? From over East. Get what I'm saying? That's about it.
The robbery of Money Jake. Money Jake had that money.
Money Jake is a Baltimore rapper known for flaunting wealth, heavy chains, and a lavish lifestyle in his music and social media posts. Born and raised in West Baltimore, he's become a viral figure in the city's underground hip-hop scene. He frequently appears in music videos such as Industry Ready, 1500 Facts, and My Only Response, showcasing expensive jewelry, luxury cars, and entourages. Symbols of success and street credibility, Money Jake often brags in videos about his income and lavish lifestyle. In interviews and freestyles, he emphasizes having all the money and adds credibility by displaying chains, money stacks, and designer clothes.
No, that's how you get robbed, bro.
That he was robbed of a valuable chain in a confrontation tied to a rival gang known as the Bunnies or Bunny Ears, stirring buzz online and sparking speculation about gang affiliations or conflicts. While Money Jake hasn't publicly confirmed formal gang membership, his connections and conflicts suggest he moves within Baltimore street and gang-influenced circles. Some videos hint at ties to broader regional groups or disputes, but nothing labels him as a core gang member. Musically, he's collaborated with local and regional artists like ESTG and BC Tay, reflecting his growing influence in Baltimore's rap community. Overall, Money Jake blends bold self-promotion with street narratives, a rapper whose flair for wealth signaling is infused with the tension of Baltimore's gangling drama. About
My
5
whole
months
thing
ago,
is though, like, if you in the hood, bro, you're not supposed to have on jewelry and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to be low key with it, folks. You in the hood taking pictures with jewelry and a bunch of cash on you. You making yourself a lick, gang. You making yourself a walking lick, and then you pulling up to the hood every day, doing shit in the hood every day with $50,000 of jewelry on, and you think ain't nobody gonna try to rob you? That's just not smart.
Money Jake was at a Baltimore recording studio when he was violently robbed. Members of the Bunny Ears crew allegedly rushed in, seized his jewelry, including a heavy chain he'd been flaunting, along with cash, weed, and other valuables. Eyewitness footage and viral clips quickly emerged online. One YouTube short was titled "Baltimore rapper Money Jake get his chain snatched by Bunny Ears," while social platforms buzzed about Money Jake chain took by bunnies, and Money Jake still hasn't spoken out about Bunny Ears taking his chain.
Dang. That's all his jewelry too. That's the crazy part.
Oh my God. Took him off everything. Right now. Everything.
we gonna rob him, and then we gonna record it and let everybody know that we robbed him. And then you did the shit at the studio, so you know it's on camera. You just tell it, might as well just call the police on you and tell them you did it, folks, and just pop up at the police station like these. Arrest me, officer, please.
Ladies and gentlemen,
everything. You heard me.
We got him.
Everything.
This is what happens when you put the other side.
On Reddit's r/bodymore410, users discussed the incident. One commenter wrote, "Them dumb. Why do niggas instantly post putting insurance on themselves?"
I have no idea.
Others speculated on gang politics behind it. Baltimore rappers can't play both sides and expect no kickback. These online discussions frame the event not just as a robbery but as an inter-gang statement. Bunny Ears sending a message and Money Jake's public profile making him a target. While Money Jake has not released a formal statement about the incident, he responded indirectly in music. In a track released soon after, he dropped a diss song claiming ownership of significant street credibility in addressing the chain theft, clearly influenced by—
You might not want to rob the nigga with a whole bunch of money though, because you took his chains and all that, but he got enough money to get all y'all whacked. You know what I'm saying?
The incident. To date, there's no public record of the stolen items being recovered or arrests made. The robbery remains one of several flashpoints highlighting the volatile relationship between Baltimore's rising local rappers and crews like Bunny Ears.
Right.
On July 24th through the 25th, 2024, 3 Baltimore men, Jerome Waters, 23, Calvin Israel, 23, and William Barnett, 27, all connected to the Bunny Ears gang, traveled from Maryland to Queens, New York. The trio posed as marijuana buyers at a stash house in Bayside to rob their dealers at gunpoint and kidnap them. Also, William Barnett is a known Baltimore rapper known as Zone 18 Will. Once inside, Waters and Barnett brandished firearms, forced the dealers into zip ties, and brought in 2 accomplices. The group herded their captives into a Jeep and a U-Haul van, stealing approximately 30 pounds of marijuana during the operation. Within
30 pounds?
confines of the U-Haul, Julian Mejias, a 23-year-old dealer, was shot multiple times in the head by Marcus Pittman, Nacho, or Cheese. First responders found Mejias' lifeless body on 208th Street near 32nd Drive in Bayside, still bound by zip ties and surrounded by bags of weed.
Why they unalive him then?
Robbery and kidnapping scheme concluded with the suspects fleeing back to Baltimore. In a surveillance video dated July 24, the defendants were seen at a New York gas station en route to the stash house. On October 24, 2024, Waters and Israel were arrested in Baltimore and indicted in Brooklyn's Eastern District. Barnett remains at large. A second superseding indictment, unsealed May 20, 2025, added Jalon Lenny Garrett, 20, Marcus Pittman, 30, and Delonta Pittman, 31, to the charges. The 6-count indictment accuses the crew of conspiracy to commit armed robbery, kidnapping, murder, interstate drug trafficking, and the murder of Mejias. Federal prosecutors
I don't know why people be doing that, gang. If you rob the nigga, rob him, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna rob him and then unalive him and then rob, like, gang, you just caught yourself a murder charge. If you rob a street nigga for 30 pounds allowed, the police don't care. If you rob a street nigga for 30 pounds allowed and you unalive one of them in the process, the police is on you, gang. So I don't get that shit.
The second deal at gunpoint, while Marcus Pittman executed Mejias in the back of the U-Haul, Israel is accused of renting the van used in the operation. If convicted, Waters, the Pittmans, and Israel each face life imprisonment, while Garrett faces 10 years to life. This brutal interstate crime reflects a disturbing evolution among Baltimore-based robbery crews, moving beyond localized turf violence and leveraging brutal cross-state operations. It underscores how groups once limited to street-level territory disputes are becoming increasingly mobile and dangerous. 2 young men were shot and killed on the night of June 26, 2022 in a triple shooting outside the Parkside Shopping Center in Northeast Baltimore. The victims were Devontae Lamont Powell, age 21, and Demetrius Savante Johnson, age 26.
They ain't even see it coming, boy.
Powell was pronounced dead at the scene, while Johnson succumbed to his injuries later at the hospital. The incident unfolded just after 8 p.m. in the 5300 block of Frankfort Avenue near Sinclair
and they
Lane.
came.
Witnesses
Oh my
reported
God!
hearing multiple gunshots, and a third victim, a 28-year-old woman, suffered non-fatal injuries and was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The Baltimore Police Department released surveillance footage showing 4 masked gunmen exiting a Honda and opening fire on the group. A second burst of shots rang out inside a convenience store, extending the violence beyond the parking lot.
Why they going to convenience
Authorities
store?
have since offered an $8,000 0-cent reward for information identifying the suspects. No arrests have been made, and police have cited no confirmed connections to the Bunny.
Somebody should have seen that, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Suspects. No arrests have been made.
Look how many people facing. They all really facing that way, bro. Somebody was supposed to see that, bro, because they hopped out right here.
Cited no confirmed
connections. You supposed to be watching by that right there. They getting their ass blicked up back. We need to all be blicking at this point.
Yes.
These other niggas ain't even out the car yet. We supposed to be flying back, bro. And on top of all of that, gang, they gonna have to reverse to get up out of there. They not making it off this. They should not have made it off of this out of this parking lot, gang. I'm sorry, bro. All y'all, I don't know if they was street niggas, if they had the right people, the wrong. I don't know what was going on, but they weren't supposed to go down like that. I'm sorry.
However, the shooting occurred in the same general area where bunny ears linked activity has been observed, hinting at potential overlap or territorial conflict. This tragic incident reinforces a troubling pattern of gang and street violence in Baltimore. In 2021 alone, Baltimore reported over 300 homicides, one of the highest rates per capita in the U.S., many tied to highly localized crews fighting for control of southern and eastern neighborhoods. Baltimore's gang landscape.
I do know that it's a lot of fiends, a lot of drug users in Baltimore, though. So I know, like, a lot of their war is got to do with, like, drug locations and drug territories and all that.
It's fractured. Small, insular juvenile crews like Bunny Ears, long-standing prison-affiliated groups such as the Bloods, Crips, Black Guerrilla Family, and neighborhood-based factions all engage in turf wars over drug corridors and street corners. Informal alliances shift frequently, and violence often flares over perceived slights or retaliatory killings. The Northeast shooting adds to the urgency facing Baltimore's leaders as they pursue a multi-pronged strategy involving law enforcement crackdowns, community-based interventions, and youth outreach to stem the cycles of vengeance and robbery that fuel street-level homicide. Until the suspects are brought to justice, the families of Powell and Johnson remain in limbo, waiting for closure, while the community grapples with growing fear and frustration that even a routine evening at a local shopping center can explode into deadly violence. On April 16, 2023, 31-year-old Dontre Mitchell was shot and killed on the 2900 block of Chesley Avenue in Northeast Baltimore.
It's all on camera too?
Police say he was ambushed around 8:30 a.m.
Oh,
a masked gunman jumped from a red vehicle and opened fire with what appeared to be a rifle. Mitchell was taken to Johns Hopkins Bayview, but succumbed to his wounds shortly
look like
after
the same cop from earlier.
the arrival. Police released surveillance footage showing the shooter fleeing and fast-tracked an $8,000 0-cent reward for tips leading to an arrest. While no formal links to the Bunny Ears crew have been publicly confirmed, the murder occurred in a corridor adjacent to territories where Bunny Ears activity has been reported. Given the proximity and timing, law enforcement and community groups are considering potential gang motives. This killing is part of a larger context. Baltimore's homicide rate, though on a downward trajectory, remains historically high. In 2024, the city recorded 201 homicides, its lowest total since 2011, and a sharp drop from 333 in 2022 and 261 in 2023. As of early June 2025, Baltimore has already seen 59 homicides, underscoring the persistent challenge of street violence even amid declining overall trends. During April 2025 alone, there were only 5 murders, marking the lowest monthly count ever recorded, down from 13 in April 2024.
That's good.
A 61.5% drop year over year.
That's good.
Still,
I ain't gonna lie, they said June 2025, he said 56 or something, so they on track to be like 110 right now. That's good, because they think he said last year it was 200. The year before that was 300. Look at Chicago. That shit, I don't know if it's going up or down. You never know. For God, I mean,
incident carries weight far beyond statistic. To combat violence, Baltimore's group violence reduction strategy, bolstered by expanded homicide clearance rates, which rose from 42% in 2020 to 68% in 2024, is credited with revealing real progress. Yet arrests for murder remain steady, typically around 100 and 130 annually, suggesting systemic strains even as homicides drop. Gang politics in Baltimore remain complex. The landscape features a fragmented mix of small youth-led crews like Bunny Ears, alongside entrenched prison-affiliated groups, Bloods, Crips, Black Guerrilla Family, and neighborhood-based factions. These groups frequently clashed over drug turf and perceived slights, often erupting in lethal retaliation. The murder of Dontre Mitchell and earlier incidents involving Bunny Ears reflect ongoing tensions between localized crews asserting control over East and Northeast Baltimore. While the city celebrates record-low monthly homicide numbers, these violent flashpoints serve as reminders of deeper, unresolved conflicts fueling street-level tragedies.
Damn! It's cracking in Baltimore. That's all I heard for the last 15, 16, 17 minutes. Oh, for them. You won't catch me out there.